So it looks like Josh Naylor, AJ Pierzynski, and the Seattle Mariners are going to be in a 5-year union. Jeff Passan and Ken Rosenthal talking about it. Free agent first baseman Josh Naylor in agreement with the M's on a 5-year deal, of course, pending that physical. AJ, why do you think this makes sense if you do?
I think it makes a lot of sense for both sides. I think Naylor must have gone to Seattle and really liked it. They almost made the World Series. He's a free agent. They made an offer that he likes, and I'm hearing 5 years around 100, which is a pretty good contract. I mean, for a guy with Josh Naylor. And listen, if you like a place and you find a place that you really like, and they're offering you a contract that you're comfortable with, take it. And he's doing that. And good for Josh Naylor, and good for the Mariners on spending some money and trying to make their team, especially their offense, better early in the offseason.
And AJ, you mentioned it, trying to make their team and go for it in the offseason. And Erik, we know that Dipoto makes a lot of moves, right? But this is a guy that is trying, I guess, to lock down that core group, because now you have Josh Naylor. Of course, you have Cal Raleigh, which they should lock up for eternity, Julio Rodríguez, and the Mariners rotation. So this is a foundational piece to what is already a pretty decent foundation moving forward for the M's. What's your take on it?
I feel like anytime you can add a significant bat who they got Josh Naylor and they were like, you know what, we're getting a guy, he stole a few bases, whatever. He added that stolen base component to what he already has. And clearly, I mean, we get it. Julio Rodríguez got MVP votes. Cal Raleigh could have won the MVP. And you go, okay, well, we don't need somebody to carry the lineup. But when you're constantly year in and year out never making that move on a Pete Alonso, obviously they're never in on Juan Soto. Ownership just would refuse to allow Jerry Dipoto, who wants to make moves, to be able to see that as the Mariners to shift in this direction. It's awesome. Now you have Julio, who's locked up. You have JP Crawford locked up. You have Cal locked up. And this is 5 years. You know, is this starting rotation going to last for 5 years? Maybe all this is like a year or two late when they were really all in their prime, but they've shown they can produce pitching in their minor leagues. So this is obviously a great move. I think he was the second best first baseman on the market.
And you talk about first baseman, guys, and AJ, will bump it over to you again. You look at the first basemen that are signed to essentially long-term deals, at least more than a 2-year deal. We'll put it that way. So Josh Naylor now joins Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who's obviously going to be in Toronto forever. James Shiano tweeting this earlier. Every first baseman who's signed to more than a 2-year deal. Christian Walker, of course, Matt Olson of the Braves, who took over for Freddie Freeman, who went to the Dodgers, obviously, and he's signed long-term in Los Angeles. So it's a really small list. I guess I'm a little surprised that Naylor is on this list, but I do think it makes sense for the Mariners.
Yeah, it makes total sense for both. Again, the Mariners, yes. Listen, they lock up a power guy that can play every day. He's left-handed. He performed in the postseason. What else do you want? I mean, could he have maybe gotten more? Maybe. But again, this is a place he liked. This is a place he seemed comfortable. Good for him. And you know what? A 5-year deal? It's pretty nice to go home and say, hey, guys, I got a 5-year deal. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's nice to have that job security. And obviously, James Shiano is the host of the Metsed Up podcast right here on Foul Territory. And he's probably thinking about this list because what's going to happen with Pete Alonso, right? Like, where is their first baseman going to go? So, Erik, I ask you this. What else do the Mariners need to do in the offseason? Because they have a hell of a core. You talked about the starting rotation, obviously. It seems like the offense is finally catching up to that starting rotation. What else do they need to do?
I think they definitely need another bat. What type of bat? When they got Eugenio Suarez, obviously he had a huge 2-home-run game in the playoffs that helped them get to where they were or continue to move on to where they were. But do they need another power bat like that? I think they would have to evaluate it and say, what type of hitter comes into this park and can hit dingers? And if they say there's nothing available, is there somebody in a trade that can help them keep the line moving and not just be automatic outs? You know, sometimes when you have a park that is tough to hit in or tough to hit home runs in, then you say, okay, you know, well, we'll just try. We'll just try to get the biggest bat we can. You know, some type of 1-year Rhys Hoskins type of deal. I know it's not going to work out because they already have a first baseman, but is there something that adds to that lineup? To me, you got to put the ball in play. If you can't hit dingers out of your park on a consistent basis, and that costs money, find somebody that you can put the ball in play. Find somebody that's going to keep the line moving. And I think it's really adding to that lineup is what they need, because that bullpen is stacked. The starting rotation stays healthy, stacked. That's where their focus should be.
Holiday shopping season is here, and we have you covered from head to toe.
Let's talk about an area that's not quite close to the toes. Let's get crazy with this holiday season. Yeah, that's MeUndies I'm spinning around, but the holiday season, now you can get MeUndies with some holiday prints on them.
That's right, ridiculously soft fabric holiday prints, matching holiday prints with your special person, or you can coordinate PJs for the family photo. And right now you can get up to 50% off with the code FOUL. We rock MeUndies. You should too. We're talking over 30 million pairs sold. Knock out all your holiday gifting needs today with MeUndies to get exclusive holiday deals up to, yep, I said it, 50% off. Go to MeUndies.com/foul and enter promo code FOUL. That's MEUNDIES.com/FOUL. Promo code FOUL for up to 50% off.
AJ, let me ask you this. Erik wants another bat, not certain which type. What else do the Mariners, in your opinion, need to do to get over the hump, to at least get back into the postseason next year, move further? Is it a bullpen piece, or is it another piece of that starting rotation?
It's a bat. I mean, it's still a bat. It's always going to be a bat in Seattle. Their starting rotation is good. If Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Castillo, and Wu stay healthy, along with Bryce Miller, I mean, there's a five of the best. And then their bullpen with Munoz at the back end and some of the guys they found. One thing about Seattle, they always seem to figure out how to manipulate guys in the bullpen. So I don't know that they need any more pitching. Would a nice veteran starter look good? Sure, but they have 5 guys who have been around now for a couple of years. So unless you're going to go out and trade one of those guys for another bat that you can use, multiple position player pieces that can be ready in the future, I think you just got to go and load up on bats. I mean, Raleigh, Julio, now Naylor, Polanco is a free agent. They got to go do something with him. Crawford's a nice piece. Rosarena is still there. So I think they're in a good spot. I think one more piece, whether it's a third baseman, maybe, I mean, Alex Bregman, I don't think would go there, but something like that would be a really nice piece. And a guy also that could play some defense, because their defense was a little bit, I wouldn't want to say shaky, but it wasn't the best defense in the league.
All right, a little suspect at times. By the way, congratulations to George Kirby. He got engaged recently. These are the stupid facts I bring to foul territory on a bi-monthly basis. Are the Mariners, Erik Kratz, the team to beat in the AL West? Going into spring training, are they the best in the division?
I mean, I guess it's okay to pick against the Astros now. I mean, last year, I just refused to pick against the Astros, and I guess that's why they lost. They took a little bit of a step back because they couldn't fight through the colossal injury of Jordan. I mean, I think it's yes. I think they made that the last push that they made in September, when Mariners of old, Mariners history, every team collapses. They looked like they wanted to collapse in August when they had some tough road trips and they were losing 6 of the 7 games. But they made that next transition. And I think some of that is maturation of Julio, Cal, JP Crawford. But I also think some of it can be the fact that they're extended for a long time. They're not sitting there trying to get hits, trying to do things that they're just trying to win games. They're just trying to win games in any way possible. And so I think this team has, because of this past year, right now, I see they catapulted themselves to the favorites in the West, which they always were because of their starting rotation. And now that they're starting to hit the ball a little bit better, it's legit.
Is that the case, AJ? You think the Mariners are atop of the division heading in?
Well, let's see what the Rangers and the Astros do this offseason. I think those are 2 big clubs. The Astros just missed the postseason. The Rangers have pieces that are very nice. We'll see. They're supposed to be cutting payroll, but let's see what the Astros do. I think what happens with Fromber, what other moves they make, a full year of Carlos Correa at third. Let's see what the Astros go out and do. But right now, where we sit on today, on what is it, November 17th? Yes, the Mariners are the favorites.